Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. Please subscribe to the channel and share our videos with a couple of friends and colleagues. We definitely appreciate it. So as everyone knows, the summer is upon us. We actually have a couple cool films releasing this weekend. The Woman in the Yard is going to be releasing. That's a Blumhouse production. We have an A24 production, The Death of a Unicorn. That's starring Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd. We also have The Working Man with Jason Statham. So a lot of stuff is starting to boil up right now. And then next month, we have some great films as well. And we'll be talking about that a little later on in a different broadcast. But we got a top 10 most anticipated films list from Fandago based off, I believe, ticket sales and users voting on what they thought would be the most important film to them going into the summer. And it's a list that I wanted to go over because I want to ask you guys down in the comments, what's the most anticipated film for you this summer? So we're going to run through this list and this information. It's from comicbookmovie.com, and then we'll have a little discussion afterwards. Let's get into it. Much has been said about the fact that Superman and the Fantastic Four First Steps will go head-to-head in theaters this July. Superman's going to be releasing on the 11th, by the way, ladies and gents, and then the Fantastic Four is going to be on the 25th of July. While it shouldn't really matter, only one of them will come out on top at the box office. The battle for premium format screens like IMAX and 4DX is bound to have an impact on their respective takings. Though each of them will almost certainly open at number one during their respective weekends, which of them makes the most money remains to be seen, and is likely something only warring Marvel and DC fans will lose any sleep over. Today, Fandango has shared its list of the top 10 most anticipated 2025 summer movies based on data compiled from over 3,500 polled moviegoers. The Fantastic Four First Steps places at number 2, topping Superman, which sits at number 4. That's an impressive result, particularly as the Man of Steel is far better known to regular moviegoers than Marvel's First Family. The team's last few movies weren't exactly a success either. However, the Fantastic Four First Steps and Superman both have reason to worry because Jurassic World Rebirth is at number 1. And I was just talking about this film earlier this week. Go watch my Jenna Ortega theory on that. Great video with a lot of good information there. That kicks off July, and if it's anywhere near as successful as its predecessors, it may be bad news for both the Marvel and DC reboots. The good news for Thunderbolts is that it came in at number 5, topping the likes of How to Train Your Dragon and Lilo and Stitch. And I think those are both going to be live action adaptations of those animated shows and series. And so with that being said, ladies and gents, let's look at this top 10. We have Jurassic World Rebirth at number 1, The Fantastic Four First Steps at number 2, Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning at number 3, Superman, Thunderbolts, Superman's 4, Thunderbolts 5, Ballerina, number 6, 28 Years Later, number 7, How to Train Your Dragon at number 8, Lilo and Stitch at 9, and Freakier Friday at 10. So that is the list that we have gotten compiled from Fandango. Like I said, I definitely want to know what you think about this list and what films on the list you're actually going to be watching this summer and anticipate to actually make the most money, and what film do you think is actually going to be the best out of this whole list, or maybe just the films that you're interested in. Superman, DC Studios' first feature film to hit the big screen, is set to soar into theaters worldwide this summer from Warner Brothers Pictures. In his signature style, James Gunn takes on the original superhero in a newly imagined DC universe with a singular blend of epic action, humor, and heart, delivering a Superman who's driven by compassion and an inherent belief in the goodness of humankind. On the opposing side, set against the vibrant backdrop of a 1960s-inspired retro-futuristic world, Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four First Steps introduces Marvel's first family, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm, as they face their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as their heroes with the strength of their family bond, they must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus and his enigmatic herald, Silver Surfer Shalabal. And if Galactus's plan to devour the entire planet and everyone on it weren't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal. So definitely going to be 2 interesting films coming out in the month of July. I will say, out of this whole list, I'm going to be watching, I want to say, at least 4 films on this list, and I would say they are in my most anticipated for the summer as well. So we have Fantastic Four First Steps, which is actually going to be the most exciting film that I want to see for July, which is surprising because for Fantastic Four, if you've watched Fantastic Four films, obviously outside of like the first one, maybe you could vouch for the second one with Silver Surfer. It has not been good for that IP, to be quite honest, and Marvel's always had a hard time trying to get it to cross over and be a success for the modern audience. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning obviously is a film that I'm excited for. That comes out towards the end of May, and I actually just did a video on that recently, so go watch that video. I was talking about the budget of that film. Superman is a film that I'm going to be going to watch with a couple colleagues. I was on edge about it, but I am going to watch Superman. Ballerina is another one I'm going to watch. Love John Wick. I want to see what they do with this film, especially because it is between John Wick 3 and 4. I think it will be interesting to see the world of John Wick through a different character's eyes, in which Ana de Armas is playing Eve Macaro. The next film I'm excited for is 28 Years Later. That's going to be the end of June. I talked about this as well. I do think it is going to be the best horror film of this year, and I think it's going to be something for a niche audience that's going to mobilize, and it could be a film that is highly successful that no one really thinks is going to be as successful as it could be. As far as everything else on this list, it's kind of whatever at this point. Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon, Freakier Friday, Jurassic World Rebirth. Interesting films. Don't know if I'm going to be watching any of those, but I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes on the box office, especially Jurassic World Rebirth. Just had a big conversation about that film. Maybe something I stream. I don't even know if I'm going to watch a second trailer. I'm pretty sure they're going to release a second trailer very soon, obviously because they only have one trailer for this film and they need to build up the hype for that, especially because they're doing a reboot and they're introducing a new cast of characters for this new reboot of Jurassic World. But we will just have to see how everything does on this list. But that is my list of films that I'm going to be excited for. This is Fandango's top 10 based off data that they have comprised from different users and ticket holders. I want to know what everybody thinks in the comments, and if any of these films on this list make your top 3, top 5, maybe even top 10 for what you want to see this summer. I know everybody has their own opinion and they have their own taste, so it's extremely subjective. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video with a couple of friends and colleagues, let them know to subscribe as well. And as always, be safe. It's Neff signing off.